None of us would live if it wasn't for the sunshine, some rain, and 6 inches of topsoil. And the soil is where the life is.
The largest untapped resource for the church in the global south are small farmers. There are billions of small farmers. If they knew how to steward the land that God has given them, steward the abundance that comes to them from taking care of the land the way God intended, that resource is massive.
Much of the global south has generally great climate, amazing soil. They have everything that they need to produce food in a way that they would not be insecure. However, the conventional agriculture methods that they use, which they learned from the colonials, is not adapted well for their climates.
The amount of money you need to spend in order to provide relief for families is astronomical. And so a group of 10,000 people over a year, the cost is just shy of $2 million. For about $30,000, we could train all those families to provide their own food year in and year out. The method that we teach is called Fumfuza. It's a method of growing staple food, and there are 52 rows set up with different types of crops, and each of those rows produce exactly the amount of food that your entire family needs for a full week. The only thing a farmer needs to apply the program is they need a piece of land, which they all have, and they need a hoe.
The conservation agriculture methods that we teach are very successful. They can have more yield with less field.
We tend to talk about what we do as discipleship. That increase in income and prosperity that comes through the agricultural abundance, that then can be used as a blessing for their own families, for their neighbors, for their churches, for their communities. With our program, a dozen families in a church in a year, if they take a seventh of an acre plot and they gave that to their church, that would contribute somewhere between the range of $5,000 and $8,000 a year for that small rural church. We have to do this on our knees in humble submission to Christ, and we need partners who are going to commit to pray for the resources that we need in order to complete what God is calling us to do. $40 on average will allow our trainers to get out into a community and train a family. The money doesn't have to continue to come from the West. I think EFI's goal is to basically work ourselves out of a job in about 10 years so that this form of agricultural discipleship and stewardship training is simply part of the DNA of the church in the global south.